So there are lots of movie file formats, but there's only one that Final Cut Pro really likes to work with. So I have my project here, and I want to import a few files off of the desktop. So how you get those files into Final Cut Pro is you try and import them, and you have import files right here. So I have these 3 different files right here that I would like to import into Final Cut. First, we have this .mts. This is a very common file format off of high-end movie cameras. Often, most of our cameras here at the MSC record natively in this format. But you'll see here, I can't even click on it because Final Cut Pro does not accept MTS file formats. AVI formats, it will let me click on this. This is an older Windows format, and MP4 is another Mac format that Final Cut Pro will also let me import. So let's go ahead and import those, and you're going to see why you don't want to do this process in just a second. So here we are. We have them here, and so I have my logo.avi. It seems to be working okay here, but when I bring it down into my timeline, you will see that this movie doesn't have any audio anyway, but this particular version, you'll see it's red, and when I hit play, it gives me this nice, or not very nice, unrendered. So I can't, it's very much harder to edit. Now, if you didn't really want to go through this next process, you could go edit with it like this, but it's a lot more difficult to edit with not being able to play the movie. So I'm going to delete that, and I'll show you this MP4, kind of similar. I double click on it, and it appears over here, and it looks like it's playing normally. But then when I bring it down here into the timeline, you'll see now this one also has a red bar on the bottom, because when I play it, the video works fine now, but the audio is not in the right format. So to get these movies into Final Cut Pro, we need to convert them into a file format that Final Cut Pro really likes. So let's get out of Final Cut Pro. So here we are, we have the 3 different movies that we want to edit. So the first program that we're going to try to use to convert these is called MPEG Stream Clip, and that should be on the computer here. So I'm just going to search for it under MPEG. There it is, MPEG Stream Clip. So now you'll see the .mts, if I try to add that. So as you can see, that file type is unrecognized by MPEG Stream Clip. So we'll find another way to convert that. First, we'll go here to, we can see that both this AVI and this MP4 are both readable by MPEG Stream Clip. So that means it can read it and then convert it into the file format that we like. So here we have it. It's in MPEG Stream Clip, and to export that, we go to File, Export to QuickTime. So here we have all the different settings that we have to mess with, so we can get it into the right file format. The most important up here is this compression type. It's going to default to this motion JPEG. We don't want that. What we want is way up here at the top, called Apple ProRes 422. And from then on, we pretty much leave everything as it is. We'll want to leave it unscaled, and leave the sound uncompressed. If it had been compressed before, that will be here. So we want to leave the sound alone if at all possible. So then we'll say make movie. And then it gives us a question, where do we want to save this? Why don't we go ahead and save it on the desktop, and we'll call it skeleton export. And this is really fast because this is a very short movie, but a longer movie would take a little bit longer. Okay, so now we have our movie over here, and you'll see when I bring it into Final Cut Pro, I'm going to do the same process, import files, go to the desktop. I got my new skeleton movie right here, and when I bring it down, so say yes to here just as we normally do, and now you can see the red is gone, and when I play it, none of those annoying beeps, and the audio and video works properly. Now if we had done this with the AVI, it would have taken a little bit longer, but the exact same process. So now let's get out of Final Cut Pro. So now if I try to add the MTS like you saw before, it does not work. So we have another program on this computer called Prism. So this is Prism. This is another file converting software that I got off the internet. So and this will read the .mts, but it will not put it into the file format that Final Cut really likes. So this is going to be a two-step process. So here we just bring in the .mts and it reads it. And here it is here. We're going to save it back on the desktop, not in my movies folder. You can save it wherever you would like. If you hit the browse button, you can go to the desktop and choose that. So we're going to leave all these settings pretty much as is. You're going to leave it in the .mov. Encoder options and video options, there's really not that much under here that we want to mess with. So I recommend just leaving those as they are. We don't want to add any effects, and we don't really need to preview it. We just want to convert it. So we're just going to go right over there and hit convert. Again, this is a short video, so it's going to be pretty quick to convert it. Okay, and just one other note, if you do have multiple files to convert with Prism, you can just add multiple ones at a time here. Like just say I wanted to also put this one on here. Now it will convert both of these into this same file format that I asked for there. But I'm not going to do that right now. So now I have this 0002.mov that I just created. And you can see it'll play. And you see it will play. And it is a .mov, which is the file format that Final Cut Pro likes, but it still doesn't have the correct codec. So to change it to the correct codec, we have to do the same thing again. We'll go back to MPEG Stream Clip. And I'll just drag it right on there. And for some reason the preview is not coming up, but if you drag here, it's right there. And go to the same process as before. Export to QuickTime, output ProRes 422, same as it was before. We're going to leave it unscaled because that was we don't want to change the size of it now. Keep it as high quality for as long as possible, and we just say make movie. And we're going to say the same thing on the desktop, and actually this one we're going to say export, same as before. And this doesn't have to change nearly as much because we already turned it into a movie file format. It's just changing the codec, which can take longer or shorter depending on how long the movie is, but it's fairly quick. And now when you go here into Final Cut Pro, I can import the file. Oops. And you see, if I put it here next to it, it works just fine. One more thing I want to show you is if you have multiple files that you want to convert in MPEG Stream Clip, that is also possible. So I'm going to open up MPEG Stream Clip again. So then to add multiple files, you just go up here to List, Batch List, and then you go here and you add files. So let's just say I want this movie, this AVI, and also this MP4. 3 of the movies we've converted so far. And then you say export to QuickTime, and sometimes these are checked and sometimes they're not. Go ahead and hit fix timecode breaks and do not skip any frame. Do not click on join all files because that would put all your movies into one long single file that you can then that's not what you want. You want them to be separate files. So when you bring them into Final Cut Pro, they're easier to work with. And just say OK. And then it asks you where you want to put them. Probably an easy thing is you can put them in a folder wherever you'd like, probably on your hard drive. I'm just going to put them in a new folder on the desktop here. And just say select. And then the exact same thing as before. This is coming up to Apple ProRes again because that's what we just used, but what you're going to want to do is pick Apple ProRes 422 out of the menu there, and then leave it at unscaled, and go ahead and hit to batch. And then when you're ready, you hit go. And now it's going to chug through those files. Again, they're all really small and short, so it won't take very long. I'm not even going to wait because that's the end of the tutorial. All right, thanks a lot.